This is Martin Greenfield. Welcome to my study. Our short Bible study today is on John chapter 13, verses 4 to 8. Let me read. Jesus got up from the meal and wrapped a towel around his waist. He poured water into a basin and began to wash his disciples' feet, drying them with the towel that was wrapped around him. He came to Simon Peter, who said to him, "Lord, are you going to wash my feet?" Jesus replied, "You do not realize now what I'm doing, but later you will understand." "No," said Peter, "you will never wash my feet." And Jesus answered, "Unless I wash you, you have no part with me." On the 20th of January in 1961, John F. Kennedy was inaugurated as President of the United States. In his address to the nation, he spoke these words, "And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country." At this time of lockdown, when we're confined and have to stay in our homes, some of us are asking, when we can't go out and meet people, what can I do for God? But actually, the message of that passage in John 13, in fact, the message of Good Friday and the cross, turns that around and says, see what God has done for you. Let me read a small quotation from a commentary on John by William Temple, written about 80 years ago. Our first thought must never be, what can I do for God? The answer to that is nothing. The first thought must always be, what would God do for me? The cross means I have nothing to offer. I need Jesus to offer himself for me. So he went to the cross. He came to serve, to be a servant, to be a slave. Jesus, the Son of God, came from God and was returning to God. He was and is God, one with the Father. He has all things. He has the whole world in his hands. He's King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And this Jesus wrapped a towel around his waist, poured water into a basin, and washed his disciples' feet. He washed their feet. Good Friday says, don't ask what you can do for God. Ask, what has God done for me? Jesus washed his disciples' feet. So let's not be proud. Let's open our minds and see. Jesus gave his life for me. He suffered. He hung upon the cross. He died for me to make me clean. In the words of the hymn, when I survey the wondrous cross on which the Prince of Glory died, my richest gain I count but loss, and pour contempt on all my pride. May God bless us, as over this Easter weekend we think about and understand better what God has done for us.